Okay, I have a replica I can go buy. I have something I can go buy. I have a bird feeder here that I used to use. I just don't use it anymore. One thing I have problem with is squirrels. And I don't know how to remedy that. So, whatever. But anyway, I mean, it's pretty cool. It's big, though. It's bigger than I thought it would be. But I reckon they have smaller bird feeders, right? Huh, that's interesting. But you know, the top of it is a finial. That's a finial. That's pretty cool. I like that. But anyway, I need to make a top. I need to make a bottom. And when I make the bird feeder part, it's just going to be straight. It's not going to be oval like that I know of, unless I change my mind. Sometimes I change my mind as I'm shaping things. But I'm thinking on, since it's so big around, I may need more wood than what I have cut. And that is the dilemma. So I'm thinking on, let me get back over here. I'm thinking on actually taking this stump here, because it's big around. It's probably 13 or 14 or 15 inches. It's probably about 15 inches around. I mean 15 inches across, excuse me. So I'm thinking on cutting a slice and maybe cut 2 slices off of it and wood turn it. But the thing is, I have to cut it down a little bit because that lathe will only clear 12 inches round. Okay, what I'm talking about is this area here, from this point here on the chuck jaws down to here has to be about 6 inches at the most. I think it's 12 inches. It might be 15 inches. I don't remember. I really don't remember. It's like 6 or 8 inches or something from here to here. I'd have to measure it. You know what? Where in the world? I can't find anything anymore. Anyway, I was going to find my caliper and measure it real quick, but I can't find my caliper. So, anyway, regardless, you know what I'm talking about. From here down to the lathe, I can only have a piece so large around, because if it's any bigger, it will hit this and it won't turn. I can't turn it. It's too big. I don't have a huge lathe. This is a small lathe. Now, if I had a big lathe, then I can put one of them logs on there, or one of them stumps on there, and go to it. I sure could, but I can't do that. So anyway, instead of trying to do segmenting, it is so much harder and more time consuming trying to make boards. I may just go ahead and cut some slices out of that log. So let's do that and see if we can't get it going, okay? All right, I'll be back. So I carried the log over here. It's pretty big. That is pretty big. I'll have to cut it down some so I can fit it on the lathe. By the time I cut it down some with the white areas, this area right here with the nice reddish purple of the cedar should be all that's left, and it should fit. We'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna cut some slices, a couple of slices. Okay, I have this part cut. I have to cut the other part later. Let's see, what do I want to wood turn? I don't know if I want to wood turn the bottom or top. Let's wood turn the top, because I can make a finial separately that's smaller. I don't have to worry about trying to make the finial and everything to put on here. So that's impressive. Isn't that beautiful? Of course it's beautiful. All right, I'm gonna cut some of this excess areas off the edges and see if we can't get it on the lathe. I'll try to figure out how I want to get it on the lathe. Let's see. I got to figure up all this stuff. And the thing about wood turning is you got to have it all in order. If one step is out of order, then it's not going to come together properly. If you forget one step, then you're going to have some problems. There's going to be a big major roadblock. So let's let me go ahead and cut this, and I'll have to think about all these things and try to process it and ruminate about it. All right, and I'll be back. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off. Okay, I cut some of the excess off the edges. My blade on my miter saw is very dull, so whatever, we got it. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw a circle that's a little over 9 inches round. Come on, you can do it. Let's go. So I know what else I can cut off on the edge. I hope y'all can see what I'm doing. I don't reckon it really matters, just as long as I know what I'm doing. That's funny. Just as long as I know what I'm doing, it doesn't matter what y'all think. That's funny. It's funny. Anyway, I laugh at the stupidest stuff. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to cut this little bit off, that little bit area off, so I got a better idea of that little bit of little bit of excess wood that I can cut off, so I can put it on the lathe, right? And then I'll do the same thing for the bottom part. So what I'll probably do, I'm using my electric chainsaw because my Poland, which is a piece of crap, I wish I'd known that when I bought the thing. I would have never bought it. I didn't know until the people who came and cut down my loblolly over there. All the trees I have in my yard are loblolly, by the way. Most of the trees down here in the south are loblolly. There's some of the longleaf, which is beautiful. I mean, it has big pine cones. I mean, they're not huge, but they're much bigger than the loblolly's pine cones, which is quite interesting. And of course, their needles are much longer, and it's very fascinating. If you read about longleaf, they survive by fires. They need fires to survive, and if you get rid of all the forest fires, they'll die out. So it's just fascinating. You have to read about it, do some research and read about it. It's very fascinating about longleaf pine trees. And anyway, we have some down here in the south where I live, and they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. I love the longleaf. So we also have a couple of other, I think. We have 1 or 2 others around here. I don't remember. I'd have to do some research on the website on where I live, what all we have here. Now, I know when you get closer to the coast, and they have some other kinds of pine trees that are smaller and stubbier looking and stuff. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I didn't mean to get off course here. I'm just fascinated. Sometimes I do research about things. I do research about, well, how did they come up with that name, or how did they do this, that, and the other? Like, why did they call it loblolly? You ever thought about that? I think that's an interesting word right there. It really is. So why do they call it loblolly? Maybe because it's sticky? I don't know. I have no idea. I'd have to research that. But loblolly, I think the what I call my pork belly fat wood, I think that's loblolly. It is just the most resinous, stickiest fat wood I have, and it burns so well. It will light your fire. I've done told y'all that it'll light your fire. So anyway, getting back to the subject, let me go ahead and cut this off, these jagged edges, and then I'm going to see about mounting it on the lathe. Okay, I was sitting here steadily talking, and I did it again. My camera was not on record. Anyway, we have it. Okay, it clears. Okay, so when I mount it, it's going to clear the bottom here, and it'll turn. See? We got a piece, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this faceplate on there. I rarely use this, but this needs the faceplate. So I got to find some screws, screw it in, and then mount it on the chuck, and then we will get right to beginning and starting this birdhouse feeder. This is going to be awesome. I can already feel it. I can feel it in the air tonight. Okay, I can feel it. This is going to be awesome. Okay, and we'll see you in a bit. I'm going to go ahead and put the screws in here, mount it on the chuck, and then we'll get to turning this small, it's going to be the lid. I think I'm going to start with, no, what do I want to start with? I better start with the bottom. I want to do the lid so bad. Oh gosh, I want to do the lid so bad. Because the lid is so pretty, it has the finial on top. Well, we'll go ahead and do the bottom so we can have the foundation going. I'm glad I have this as a replica to go by. That's going to be awesome. And if I really, really wanted to, I could just use that section right there and mount it on the wood, but I don't want to do that. I just want to make my own. Okay, and I'll be back. All right, I have it on there. Isn't that awesome? That's just awesome. Awesome sauce. That's awesome stuff right there. Let's put it, I had to put it on the lowest belt setting because this big old bulky thing will make my legs shake. We don't want it shaking off all over my carport and slinging things around. You put it on a high speed with a chunk of wood like this is not even running true, you're going to be in trouble. Look at there. There it goes. Isn't that beautiful? Piece of cedar wood. This is going to be gorgeous. I cannot wait. I'm so excited about this. Oh, look. There's a knot. There's where the knot was. That's why I had a hard time cutting through that right there. There's some beautiful stuff. Now, I read a little bit, not much, about the cedar wood, that it has oils in it. And that makes it really heat up. Really hot. So, and I also experienced with the bowl gouge. The bowl gouge has this tunnel right here, so the wood shavings go through that and spray out. Okay, so when I was sitting here doing the bowl gouge, and I had my thumb up here holding it, then it was spraying on my fingers and all, and it was burning my fingers, and I had to stop 2, 3, or 4 times because I'm talking about it was burning me. It was that hot. I've never experienced wood like that burning me like that. Now, you know, I've dealt with like oak. Oak will burn you some because I think the harder the wood is, it'll do that. Because I don't experience that with fat wood. Fat wood does not burn you like that. Isn't that strange? And you know, fat wood, that's kind of an odd thing though. You would think that fat wood would burn with all the resin in it. So I don't understand why this would burn, but the fat wood would not. Maybe because it's very soft wood. So anyway, we got it mounted. I'm going to round it, and then we'll shape it some, and then we'll go from there. This is going to be our foundation. We're getting started. Woohoo! Let's go. Let's do this. This is fun. Okay, I'm trying to think. I had to take a break and eat something, all that good stuff. LP came up. He gave me from his cousin some oak. I was like, woohoo! Man, I got some oak now. I got some big old chunks of oak. Do you know how expensive oak is? Oh my goodness. Now it's fresh, so it's green still, and it has to dry some. I started reading up about some of that stuff. So it takes at least 6 months to a year, if not a little more, to dry. But they say you can turn green oak or cedar, but usually you can't make it, you can't, say you want it to be 1 inch thick. Well, you can't bring it down to 1 inch because it can, for cedar it can warp. For oak, I mean, it can crack and stuff like that. So you you can't bring it all the way down to the thickness you want it to be. You have to just let it be thicker than that. So I thought that's quite interesting. Let's do something with this. Let's see. In order, let's see, what do I want to do? That's beautiful. There's a crack right there. I need to put some Loctite glue on. That's my only main concern, are cracks. But this wood is absolutely gorgeous. Look at those knots. Wow. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shape it on the bottom, kind of like the birdhouse that I'm looking at. I'm going to slope this down a little more, but I'm going to make this a tenon because it's going to flatten off right here. Okay, dummy me was reaching across to get skew or something, and I bumped it and it chipped it off. Just chipped it off right there. I found a couple of pieces, so it shouldn't be a major deal. I hate that I did that. It happens sometimes. You gotta be very careful. I can't believe I did that. So anyway, I gotta glue these two pieces together. I can't find a piece that goes down here on this side. There's a piece that goes down here, over here, and I can't find it. So I'll be back. I'm going to glue this back together, and then I'll finish it. We'll continue. Okay, I have it glued back together. Where did I put that? Where'd it go? Right here. So once I smooth it out, you're not even going to tell. You're not even going to see it. Now, there's little knots, and they were actually trying to separate and come on out of the hole. There's that. I decided to glue this around this some, and the only problem I'm really having with the Loctite glue with this, and I should have used some alcohol to clean up the area, are the oils are inhibiting it from, how would you say, sticking together and drying up properly, curing properly. It's wanting to not stick. So anyway, and there was a crack right here a little bit. There was another one somewhere. I can't find it. Where was that thing? Right here. There's a crack right there running through it. So anyway, I put some Loctite glue on that crack, and on the inside with this knot. The knot right there. So we're getting it glued up. It's a little bit rough. A little bit rougher than I thought it would be. I didn't realize it was going to be like this. So, I mean, the edge of this is really rough looking all the way around. So, I have to be careful in using the skew at this point, really. I really don't need to use a skew. I need to just use the bowl gouge or something that really cuts extremely sharp compared to the skew. Now, the skew will definitely cut sharp. There's no doubt about it. You can go parallel with the wood and cut, you know, those sharp cuts. But I don't want to do it with this wood with it rough like that. I might get a bad catch and then really pop something and break it. So anyway, I just want to update you on what's going on. There's a little crack right here. I got to put some glue on. So I'm going to do that. All right, and then I'll be back. Okay, I just discovered a crack going all the way down this thing. Wow. Oh, wow. I reckon when I start opening up, it started drying out some a little bit, releasing some of the oils. And it just, I don't know. I don't know much about everything with the wood, so that's my guess. Yeah, that's my uneducated guess, excuse me. So what I'm going to do is add some wood shavings here. I'm going to clean up alcohol first this time, because you know what? It's got the oils on there. It's going to have to be cleaned up so that Loctite glue will stick to it, right? So I'm going to add the oils to it. And see if to add the oils to it. I'm gonna add the wood shavings to it and Loctite glue so we can get that. That's a bad crack too. Woo! I'm glad I saw that before I continued right there. I just did see it. I was like, what in the world? What is that? Okay, here we go. I'll be back. Okay. Okay. It looks a little rough. I mean, there's some areas, it might be that there was a knot over here or something. So it's like pitted areas. Really bad. So that concerns me a little bit. That in there's pitted. But I got that crack closed up. So there's where the crack was running. And it wasn't there yesterday. It appeared today. That's strange. So when I open this up some more, is it going to be another crack? I don't know. Anyway, I just have to be very gentle with it and take it slowly. I need to form the tenon back here. And I need to bring this down a little bit. Because when I have this center area, I want to be able to fit on the center part of the tube that you put the bird feeder in. And then we have to have the holes on the sides of it so that the bird feeder, the bird feed comes out. And you know how bird feeders are. Okay, so that's my idea, and that's the way that one over there is shaped that I am going by the replica of it. Now, it's not going to be exactly the same. So, anyway, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to go about this with these pitted areas. That is really concerning. Let me form the rest of the back here. Alright, let me get this shield up. It looks really nice. Now that crack wants to try to continue right there, so that means I have to add some Loctite glue to it. Let's see. That's where a little hole was, trying to form with the knot or something, and I filled it in with some shavings, with some dust, wood dust. So I'm pretty happy with that. Beautiful wood. Absolutely gorgeous. I gotta figure out how big of a cylinder I want to put on here too. I don't want it that big around, I don't think. It can be smaller than that. But I needed to form the backside so I know how deep I can bring this. How deep down in there I can bring this. Because I didn't want to make that so deep and then I can't bring the backside down properly. So yeah, you got to definitely think about these things and go into proper orderly steps. Crack. Alright, overall it looks great. I still got to work on that crack though. It wants to just be, it just wants to be aggravating and flare up. We'll get it. What I'll do is take this back off. It looks like a bowl, doesn't it? Beautiful bowl. I've hardly done any bowls. This is a beautiful shape for a bird feeder. That'll be where the seeds go, and that'll be gorgeous, and we'll leave it kind of thick on purpose in the back. Now I might bring it down a little bit more, but we'll leave it thick on purpose so that it's good and sturdy and it's cogent. We don't have to worry about it cracking and breaking, stuff like that. When maybe the wind might hit it. Of course, a lot of people, when they get bird houses that were wood turns, they don't even use them. They'll put them inside and keep them from getting all messed up and stuff. And that's fine, you know. Most people wanted to keep it for looks. That's all good. So, anyway, I'm going to fill that crack in. I'm debating on if I want to hollow this area out. Alright, and I'll be back. Okay, I cut another big chunk off. I'm not done now. This got a big old crack right there. Golly, this got a lot of cracks in it. That's not good. This is a beautiful side of it, though. Oh, that's so gorgeous. I wonder if I should cut another chunk out. I gotta let my electric chainsaw charge up, though, because it's dead. Let's measure this thing. I want to know how long. This thing is almost 14 inches this way. This way it is 13. So that's 14 right there. This is, if I measure this way, it's 13. So it's about 13 to 14 inches across. Which I don't know what the diameter is. I don't remember the formula. I had looked at stuff early on when I started wood turning. And I had some formulas written down on my word pad somewhere on my computer. And I can't even find the stuff. It just gets buried over time. So anyway, I need to cut the excess off. That's way too big around. There's no way it's going to fit on the lathe. This will be the top part of the birdhouse. The top, the roof. Not the birdhouse, the bird feeder, excuse me. This will be the top part of the bird feeder. So, we are going to do something. And I'll have to take care of those cracks. And I'm concerned about that. And I will have to definitely buy some more Loctite glue, because I don't have any of the other kind of glue that would fill in on them cracks. Hold on a minute. This is the log that I got it off of. I cut 2 slices off of here. I didn't cut it right there. I was cutting it wrong when I was trying to slice. My chainsaw is just a small blade, so I had to go and cut part of it on this side, and then I had to go on the other side to cut it off on the other side to get it to cut through on the, because it's not a long enough blade to just slice through it, you know. But I want to tell you something I got yesterday that is so awesome. I got some oak from LP's friend. No, his cousin, excuse me. His cousin gave him some oak. He had cut down some oak and gave it to me. And that stuff is heavy and big. And I told him, I said, wow, that's amazing. I got all this wood now. I'm just so excited. Wow. And you know, oak is expensive. I go up to Lowe's or something and get a piece of oak board. It's more expensive than poplar, that's for sure. It's heavier. It's, well, there's one of them bees. All right, now. There's one of them bees. You see him? Or her. Anyway, there she comes around. She thinks she's going to be taking up my stuff. Okay. So anyway, enough of playing. I'm playing around with you guys. I get in those funny moods sometimes. So stop it. Really is annoying me now, flying right behind me, and I don't know if those things stings or not. All right. So you can't be messing with my wood. Leave my wood alone. This is not a maternity ward. Go away. Anyway, so go away. You know what? I'm gonna pop you. So anyway, okay, I got me a fly swatter. She's not gonna be coming around here at me. She might sting me for all I know, boring holes all up in my stuff. We ain't gonna have it. She's way over there. You leave me alone. You come over me, you're gonna know something. Okay, so, oh, there's a lizard. There's a lizard. Look at there. Oh, he jumped over there. We get lizards over here all the time. So, and my cats chase them, and they'll bring, there you go. They'll chase, hold on. They'll chase them, and then they'll go and kill them, which is sad. I hate that. I mean, I feed them food. That's all they need, but they don't know any better. They think they're bringing me a present or something. So they'll go and they'll kill a lizard and they'll bring it inside to me. And I can tell they've done something. I can tell by the change of their tone of their voice and their meow. It's a different kind of meow. Like they're excited. They're trying to tell me something. I'm like, okay, oh no, they've caught a lizard or something. They're trying to give me a present. So anyway, those lizards are around here all over the place. So anyway, getting back to the wood, this is excellent. This is heavy, but the only problem is it is freshly cut. It was cut probably about 3 weeks ago. Anyway, so getting back to this, I showed you that wood over there, and we're going to go ahead and go along with what I have. I don't know why that portion showed it's cracked. Might have cut it off the wrong side of it. So anyway, I'll have to fill in that crack, and then I have to cut it down some so it can fit on the lathe. We're gonna finish the bottom up of the bird feeder, and I'll have to make a cylinder, and I'll have to figure out how to go about that. The center part here, I will have to have holes in it so that the bird food comes down and spills out in the dish. Or the bowl. Excuse me. That's more like a bowl. Yeah. So, anyway, that's what we're going to do. And I'll be back, okay? What was that? Okay, I heard this pop. I heard this real loud pop. I thought it broke apart. Well, guess what? Okay, let me get this off of here so you can see. I got a big crack that popped open. A nice big crack. So this is not being friendly. Look at that. It just popped the crack open right there. Wow. Oh, wow. Let's see. What are we going to do? We're going to fill it in. And I'm going to stop messing with the inside of this from now on, except for the center. Wow, wow, wow. That pop sound it startled the crap out of me. I was like, what in the world? Because I thought I was going to hit something. I didn't feel anything. Anyway, we're going to have to pop. We're going to pop. We're going to have to fill that up. And I'll be back, okay? It just made a loud pop again. It cracks again. There you go. This is really aggravating. Real aggravating. That's not good. There's a big crack too. Alright, here we go. We got to fill another crack. A big crack right there. It's separating the thing. That is the strangest wood I've ever worked with. I have never dealt with wood like this. But we just fill it in and keep going, right? We don't give up. We're not getting up. We're not giving up. Keep on moving. I was concerned about opening this up, that it was going to crack, and it did. That's all right. We're going to get it. We just slowly work with it. That's all we can do. Cedar wood is some beautiful stuff, but it sure is turning out to be really hard to work with. It doesn't want to cooperate. It wants to be belligerent. Okay, I've had a lot of cracks. This is the first time I've ever, and I'm not mad about it at all. It's just fascinating to me to deal with wood like this. This is the strangest thing to me. Now, somebody who is advanced in wood turning could have told me up front. They could have told me a long time ago, you just have some problems. But I had no idea what I was dealing with. I just know I'm excited about having cedar wood. That's all I know. So anyway, I'm trying to open this up. So I'm hoping I can open it up a little more. Get it on down there before it cracks anymore. But I got these filled in. I have the cracks filled in, and what I'm going to do is leave these areas alone. I'm just going to sand them. I'll sand it smooth so that these crack areas with the Loctite glue will be smoothed out. Okay, so the main thing I'm trying to work on is getting this down some, because the bird feeder, the food has to come out through the holes, and if this is not down enough, I can't do it. This is the weirdest stuff. I've never dealt with stuff like this. Okay, so I think of that idiom that says beauty from ashes. So you can take something, of course this is not, well, I don't know, that's a fascinating thing about wood turning. You're taking a block of wood, it looks like it's just, you know, it's just a chunk of raw wood from nature and the woods and stuff, and some pieces of wood that I've found, like with the fat wood, have been bug infested, actually had like ants or termites or something in them, and it was so ugly and nasty, and some rotted areas, yeah, but you know what, there was some good fat wood in there. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Okay, I'm trying to brainstorm how I want to put holes in here. So I reckon what I'll do is start off with some kind of drill bit and drill a hole this direction, and then I'll probably have to take Dremel and cut it out, I reckon. I don't know. So I'm gonna take it off for now, and I'll see what I can do. I drill the holes in it. I use a Dremel. I got crap on my fingers. Anyway, so I opened it up best I could with the Dremel. And what I want to do is smooth this out a little bit. That's just really weird to me. Why is it doing like that? I gotta be careful with them holes. Let me do something here. I hope that I don't regret this. Okay, I've run into a bit of a dilemma. I'm thinking about what am I gonna do to put the feeder part on here without blocking the holes. If I put it on the inside, that means I have to make holes on that feeder part, the tube. Okay, I gotta put a tube on there, and I'm not sure if I should make it maybe indentation, like a canal through here. Should I make a canal, or should I fit it on the outside? But before I fit it on the outside, make some holes in it that matches these holes, or the inside that matches the holes. Oh, this thing is a little bit delicate. It's pretty doggone solid, but if you drop it, it's going to break the ends. But the center is very solid, so I'm not sure how to go about this. Maybe I can put a rod through here in the center all the way to the top part. So when I have the top part up here, and then I have the tube in the center, the rod connecting the two, top and bottom, will anchor it. So it won't matter that it just sits on top of here. What do you think? I don't know. I'm just brainstorming. I'm not sure how to go about it. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll just go ahead and let it sit on top of here, because I don't need it to come down and then go below these holes and block the holes. Then the bird feed will not come through, right? We need the bird feed, we need the food to come out of the holes. If they're blocked, it doesn't come out. That's so funny. So anyway, I think that's what I'll do. Okay, I've decided. I think that's what I'll do. Okay, I'll be back. And another thing, should I make the whole thing cedar? Or should I use a different wood, for the simple fact that this has really caused me a lot of problems. Not that I will not turn some more cedar, I will. But wow, that right there has been, how would you say, very extremely challenging. So I'm thinking on using something different so I can go ahead and get the tube made, because I'm excited about getting the video out. You bet. I'm excited. I love to wood turn. I love to make art. Art is beautiful. Art's beautiful stuff. Art's in everything. Art's in people and pets and food and just everything. It's in relationships. It's in friendships. It's in your family. It's in people you look at. You know, I see people every day, and you know, when I was a bit younger, I was very shy. So, but now that I'm getting a little bit older, I don't care. I see somebody I think is beautiful, or a handsome man or something, or he's got I love his beard or something. I know it sounds stupid. It probably sounds stupid to people, but I'm just telling you what I see. I'll tell them. I saw a man the other day standing outside the store where I work, and his beard was just like, it looked like one of them woods, them logmen or something that cuts down trees or something, you know. It was nice beard. It was not all shaggy and rough looking. And I told him, I said, you know, I don't mean anything of this, but I like your beard. That man liked that. That was so funny. And I've seen some beautiful women in the store or wherever I walk, and I'll tell them. I shocked this one lady. I said, you know what? And she looked right at me when I was walking around the store. She'd come in the store and she looked right at me, and I was like, and I saw her eyes. I love people's eyes. Okay, eyes are the most beautiful feature on a human being to me. I told her, I said, you've got some beautiful eyes. she didn't know what to say. It was so funny. But I just walked on off after that and minded my own business. I think I made her day. Anyway, let's get back to wood turning. I was just talking about art. Art is in everything. Okay, we know that. Okay, let's go. All right, I need to get this thing off. My only concern is if it trying to form another crack. So let's see what we can do. We got to cut this thing off. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, it hit the screws. I'm going to take it off of this face plate, and I formed a tenon low enough that I can just put it on the chuck. Because my only other option is to cut into it this direction, and I don't want to do that. I just don't feel like messing with it anymore. So let's get it off the face plate. I'll be back, and we'll see you then. Okay, let's see. It's not perfectly round, but I don't care. I just want to cut it off. That's all I want to do. So we'll see what we can do here. It's at a bad area. Just a moment, I'll be right back. Let me see if I can get this thing cut off. This is at a tough angle though. Okay, at this point it's small enough that maybe I can cut it off with something else. I know. I don't know why I forgot about this. Hold on a second. I forgot all about these hand saws when I was getting fat wood, when I was searching for fat wood a lot. And so I got this Corona. It's not my favorite. I can't remember what the other one's called. Cobalt or something. I don't know. I don't keep up with all these names. It's not important to me. So we can cut it on off, and then I can smooth it out. Whoop. I need to get that cord out of the way before I cut it. Let's loosen it up a little bit. I don't want it to start, like, how would you say, jamming in there and stuff. Shouldn't take much at all to get this thing off of here. I don't know why I forgot about that. I get so enthralled in my wood turning, I reckon. Okay, it's separated. Okay, we got it. Let's get this baby off. Okay, now we got it. Okay. I'll be back. I'm gonna fill in the cracks. I'm gonna put this to the side. I'll deal with it later and cleaning it up because we're gonna get this other chunk down here on there so we can do the top. But before we do that, really I need to do the tube. I got to figure out if I want to use poplar and just do poplar and so that we can get it done and not deal with the aggravation of cracks and stuff. Or do I want to go ahead and just use cedar and deal with it? Now I don't mind, don't get me wrong, okay? I don't mind dealing with the cracks and stuff because I love this wood. It's beautiful. That's part of it. That's what gives you character, you know? If you don't deal with anything hard in your life, you're not going to have character. If everything's handed to you on a silver platter and you have it easy in life, you ever met people like that? I have, and they're not very nice people because they don't know how to care about other people. Let me tell you. Anyway, let's do that, and I'll be back, okay? All right, so I have the bird feeder is finished, but the video started becoming so long, and I hadn't even made the tube yet, and I haven't even made the roof of the bird feeder. Excuse me. I decided to put part 1 and part 2. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and I split it because it's almost an hour long on this one portion. And if I put it all together as one video, it would be 2 hours long probably. Maybe less, I don't know. So anyway, I did a lot of talking in there, and I apologize for any of you that don't like long videos. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people that are conditioned these days, and they have short time. Hey, there's a lizard. They have short attention spans. They're conditioned. People are conditioned these days to have short attention spans. And there's that lizard. How cool is that? Come here, baby. Let's look at the lizard. He's crawling on these screens. I have some screens I took off. He's between the screens now. Anyway, so there he goes. That's not about wood turning, is it? But you know, when I see things in nature, I love nature. My dad loved nature. He used to live in Alaska when he was growing up, and he was born in, I think he lived in Colorado, and then he lived up north in Alaska. So somehow or another, he come down to the south and met my mom, and it was funny because they met in chemistry class. They actually met in chemistry class. That's funny, isn't it? And then they got married. So anyway, he loved nature. Okay, when we lived in Panama Canal Zone, it's jungle down there. And he used to take the whole family in the jungles, hiking in jungles, so he can take pictures. He loved nature. He would get snakes and take them home. I know a lot of people don't like snakes, especially women. But, you know, I'm not afraid of snakes. They don't bother me none because I grew up with 2 brothers and a dad who loved nature, and he brought home snakes, okay? So he would bring home snakes. He had a cage he had built, and he would keep it for a week or 2, and then he would let it go again. I reckon, you know, it's just a temporary thing. He enjoyed nature. He taught me and my brothers a lot about things, bugs and snakes and animals and things. So enough about that. This is not about wood turning at all. I'm getting off the subject, and I'm sorry about that. I'm getting sidetracked. So anyway, the video is way too long. So I made it part 1 and part 2, and I will put the next video out when I do get it finished also. And then we'll get to the next project, okay? So I hope to see y'all soon. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I love wood turning. Okay, and we will see you, I hope, soon. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And y'all take care of yourselves, right? We will see you soon. All right. Bye-bye.